Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Putting these guys up as long as they could and gave them the opportunity to help recover the boys. And I know he's been honored in lots of other places, but he hasn't been honored here yet. And there's been just an outpouring of community support. And I just really wanted to make sure that we gathered here today and recognized Juan and his team for all their efforts. So Juan, today we're gonna present you with the Board of Supervisors Certificate of Recognition. It's presented to you and the Angels Recovery Dive Team for your compassionate actions regarding the search for Wesley and Andrew Cornett. As quoted by Juan, we do what others don't. We bring hope and care for the brokenhearted. So our Yuba County Supervisors and our county are happy to honor you with this certificate and thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you so much for all the community here. You guys were amazing. I wish I have the community like here and the board supervisor everywhere in California. What you guys did for this family were amazing. I've been in so many searches. I never saw a community like this, support to the family and to the volunteers. I hope this I can see everywhere in California. Thank you so much for support. I appreciate your time too. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Juan. I think the board could come down. We'll do a group picture.
So, Juan, could you come back up? I think the board wants to have a photo with you. And well, yeah, do you guys want to do it with the seal in the background?
So next, we're going to present a proclamation to the city of Marysville, recognizing their 175th anniversary. So if Vice Mayor Bruce Buttifoley could meet me up at the podium over here on this side. Oh.
So he's in charge of ICE.
County of Yuba Board of Supervisors proclamation celebrating 175 years of Marysville, California. Whereas the dynamic city of Marysville, California proudly marks its 175th anniversary since its founding, and whereas on January 18th, 1850, a public meeting of citizens met to adopt the name of Marysville to honor Mrs. Mary Murphy Covalot, a resident and survivor of the Donner Party. And whereas Marysville became the Yuba County seat, where the county was established on February 18th, 1850, and has remained the seat since that time. And whereas Marysville, with its scenic landscapes, historic heritage, and welcoming atmosphere, has become a beloved home to generations of families, fostering a strong sense of civic pride and unity among its residents. And whereas the city's dedication to education, preservation of historical landmarks, and support for local businesses has played a vital role in shaping Marysville into a city that stands as a beacon of community strength and cooperation. And whereas Marysville has faced challenges with fortitude demonstrating a collective spirit that has defined the city as resilient and a unified community. And whereas on this auspicious occasion, we honor 175 years of Marysville, California's oldest little city. We extend our gratitude to all who have contributed to the city's growth and prosperity. Now, therefore, the Yuba County Board of Supervisors proclaims that the city of Marysville be celebrated and honored for 175 years and recognizes the enduring spirit, dedication, and achievements of Marysville citizens throughout its illustrious history as they preserve its heritage, foster community bonds, and embrace the values that make Marysville a unique and cherished city.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you to the, boy, you guys' mics are hot compared to ours. Thank you guys as a board. We really appreciate you recognizing us. I've only been here 70 of the 175, but I think that's the paying my dues in there. We have at times had contentious relationships with the county and the board, but not with this one. And I just want to say thank you to you guys for working so closely with us. I think a lot of it started when Kevin took over, and we really appreciate working with you and all of you, and for all the help you've given us to our little city. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Bruce. Okay, next up is public communications. Natalie.
Any person may speak about any subject of concern, provided it is within the jurisdiction of the Board of Supervisors and is not already on today's agenda. The total amount of time allotted for receiving such public communication shall be limited to a total of 15 minutes, and each individual or group will be limited to no more than 3 minutes. Prior to this time, speakers are requested to fill out a request to speak card and submit it to the clerk of the Board of Supervisors. Please note, no board action can be taken on comments made under this heading. And through the chair, we have one request to speak card and no hands raised.
Great, thank you.
Tony Farley?
Morning, Tony.
Be a standard item on the agenda.
Tony Farley from Walton Hyde Park area. Yeah. Thank you for your service, Yuba County and City of Marysville, the Marysville Vice Mayor Bear, the Vice Mayor Bear, Marysville. Speaking of Marysville, there's Kelly and Missy, who is support manager for Marysville Police Department, and also the fire chief, police chief of Marysville. The Vice Mayor of Marysville is nice. And Andy Vasquez wearing his VW tie today. Now his Trump tie is VW tie. Andy Vasquez is part of VW, Veterans Club. And I forgot the name again. The supervisor or by nearby. And also there's Seth Fuhrer. He is diverse. I'm hoping someone pointed out as vice chair or chair. I think you're a good candidate for chair. You know, there's pussy on this bar. I think you'd be a good candidate for a chair. And you should go back to the conference again. And John, the cowboy farmer guy. Thank you for his service. And also Gary Bradford, the Sacramentan guy. You go to Sacramento, George, Sac State, the law school. And speaking of law school, county counselor Janet Bender, either confirm or deny. That's a little line. And Kevin, the police chief of Yuba County, Marysville. Kevin, the police chief. There's Nally. Hey, Nally. Thank you for service, Nally. And thank you for service, Rachel the media. Rachel and Kate Gibson. And also Russ Brown and Chuck Smith. And there's Oscar, LEP, LFD, Los Angeles Fires. And also the diver team over there. Juan, the diver, your hero. And there is Dr. Lil, the doctor. And there's code enforcement. And the sheriff, Willie Anderson. And also Kyle. Kyle. And also there is a code enforcement, another code enforcement guy, no, also probation guy. Probation. Thank you for your service.
Thank you, Tony. Any additional public comment on items not on the agenda?
None.
Okay, great. With that, we will move into county departments. And I'm sorry, we'll move in to, yes, county departments. And we will be starting with item 2025. Sheriff Corner, approve amendment number 2 to agreement with Jackie Clark for criminal justice consultations, increasing not to exceed $145,000 to $198,375.
Chairman Bradford and members of the board, Janet Bender, Yuba County Council. I'll be presenting this item on behalf of the sheriff because it involves the second amended consent decree. This is an amendment to the county's contract with the court-appointed third-party monitor required by the second amended consent decree. Under the second amended consent decree, the county is required to pay for the monitor's services to assess and advise the parties and the court on the jail's compliance with the second amended consent decree. The original contract amount was for not to exceed $145,000, but her necessary and reasonable services for the contract period were an additional $53,375. So this amendment is to increase the not to exceed amount by that amount. The funding will be from a revenue appropriation, and a 4/5 vote of your board is required for that. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions or comments from board members? Okay, seeing none, any public comment on this item? Okay, with that, we'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
Have a first and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Vasquez.
Yes.
Supervisor House.
Yes.
Supervisor Fuhrer.
Aye.
Supervisor Bradford.
Yes.
Supervisor Messick.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next we will move on to item 717/2024. Sheriff Corner, approve agreement with Yuba Community College District to provide campus resource officer services at Yuba Community College, Marysville campus, to include donation of a 2023 Ford Explorer. Morning, Sheriff.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, thank you. And to Janet Bender, County Council, thank you for that. So the item I have before you today is an agreement that we have reached with the Yuba Community College to provide law enforcement services to the Linda campus. Sometime in the last summer, they made the decision to disband their police department, which left them with no services out at the college campus. So over the last several months, we have reached an agreement with them in the form of an MOU with the assistance of County Council again, and with our HR department, we reached an agreement in which the college has agreed to pay the salary and benefits for that deputy that's going to be providing services to the college. Also with that, they've donated a vehicle. They had a brand new vehicle they had purchased for their police department. And they have agreed to provide that to us as well. This would be a new allocation for the Sheriff's Department, a new position. And the agreement with the Yuba College lasts until 2029. So there will be, either party could cancel the contract within 30 days at any given time. The relationship that we have with the college has been good. We've been providing services with them since their department has been gone. There are some requirements to the state that require law enforcement presence during any sporting event, and we've agreed on a supplemental contract to do that with our reserve deputies in the department. So they haven't gone without law enforcement presence at Yuba College. This just makes it official, and then we would assign somebody to work at the college, and they would be out there on a daily basis. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. The request is that you approve this MOU with the college, and we'll make efforts to get somebody assigned there as soon as possible upon signature.
Great, thank you, Sheriff. Any board questions or comments?
It's about time, Sheriff.
I'm sorry?
It's about time.
Well, I don't know what their decision process was with the Board of Trustees with the college, but this conversation's been going on for a while, and I agree. I think it's about time, and hopefully will make a difference in, the safety and security of our students that are attending Yuba College at the London campus.
We know it will.
Through the chair.
So moved.
Sheriff Anderson, thank you for presenting this. Thank you guys for picking up the pieces there and protecting our local asset. That's a huge asset we have in the county. In my days running Yuba-Sutter Transit as their transit manager, the law enforcement presence at the college was pretty weak, and when it was its own agency. So I look forward to seeing public safety be on the forefront, people walking to their cars at night, and nobody gathering by the bus stops, and just the things that our county really sees as important. It might encourage enrollment at the college too, and having a dedicated person gives you the opportunity to have somebody that they build trust with. And some of these college kids don't have trust in law enforcement, so it's going to be a fun experience for you guys. So thank you, though.
Yeah, and I could just add to that. I'm excited about just that, the relationship with, our community, with others that are attending Yuba College. I've seen a big difference in our high schools with the addition of SROs in our high schools, and the relationship that we have with some of the students out there that we could have never had before this. So I'm looking forward to it.
Great, thank you. So Supervisor Vasquez made a motion. Is there a second?
Oh, second.
Okay, is there any public comment on this item? Okay, seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Vasquez.
Yes.
Supervisor House.
Yes.
Supervisor Fuhrer.
Abstain, indirect interest.
Supervisor Bradford.
Yes.
Supervisor Messick.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Sheriff. Okay, next we are going to move on to item 37, 2025. Board of Supervisors adopt resolution in support of recognizing the Yuba-Sutter Food Policy Council as a valuable organization in promoting access to healthy, fresh foods for all community members. Good morning, Marnie.
Good morning, supervisors.
Nice.
Okay, we got through the hardest part there, which is always the technology for me. So good morning again, and thank you for having me here this morning to talk about the Yuba-Sutter Food Policy Council, which has just launched this past October. So as we all know, this region that we call home is at the heart of a thriving agricultural story. From our fruit and nut producers feeding global markets, to small-scale growers cultivating wine grapes, produce, dairy. This region embodies diversity, not just in its products, but in its people. Those people bringing their skills and their traditions and their hard work to sustain a vibrant food and farm economy here in Yuba County. Our community possesses many attributes that make up a strong food system, including cold storage, processing facilities, and distribution networks. We also have a few farmers markets. We'd love to see more. We have food trucks and restaurants who use some of our locally grown produce in their businesses. But we would love to see a stronger and more vibrant food system that creates more effectiveness within our community. Wouldn't it be great to see more of our locally grown produce in our schools, in our institutions like our hospital, to see more of those local foods in the dishes that are made in our restaurants and the grocery stores where we shop? This vision of a thriving food system is why Blue Zones convened folks together to start this Yuba-Sutter Food Policy Council. So we endeavor to address some of these things that I've discussed. In June of 2023, we brought together a group of like-minded, passionate people who wanted to address this food systems work. And so over the last 18 months, we worked with this group to come up with our mission, our vision, and our strategic priorities. We had the privilege of being led through this process by a nationally recognized food policy expert, Maggie Adamek. She's worked in hundreds of communities across the nation, helping them in their food systems work. So she guided us through this strategic process, along with, of course, the input from this food policy group who brought their knowledge and experience to the work as well. And so we've developed our strategic priorities and our mission vision, which so our mission is clear. Together we grow a resilient, nourishing, equitable food system for Yuba-Sutter. Our vision paints a brighter picture which includes delicious food, healthy people, and a vibrant local food and agricultural economy. And how we will achieve our mission and vision are through these 5 strategic priorities that the Food Policy Council has set. Growing our local food supply chain, building healthy food skills, ensuring the sustainability of our council, bolstering food rescue and recovery, and then addressing access to affordable and healthy foods. So through growing our local food supply chain, which really means empowering our growers to connect with our local consumers. So again, going back to bringing those locally grown foods into our restaurants, our grocery stores, our schools, and other institutions. And then building healthy food skills. This is about educating our community members on growing and preparing and preserving food. This process empowers community members with the knowledge where they can grow their own gardens so they have better access to healthy foods. And hopefully overall become healthier and have more well-being in their life. By learning how to prepare nutritious meals, participants are making healthier food choices, and we love to hear that in the Blue Zones world. And then they develop that deeper understanding of nutrition. Overall, we see a community of individuals that are embracing their health and well-being, and they have self-sufficiency and just a healthier community. And then ensuring the sustainability of the Food Policy Council. That's about good stewardship of the council, of its strategic priorities, and we have established an executive committee of the council whose job it is to ensure good stewardship. And then fourth, many of us have been in conversations around this particular topic of minimizing waste and more food efficiency with the leftovers, essentially. So bolstering that food and rescue. Many hunger relief organizations are at the lead on this, including our very own Yuba-Sutter Food Bank, who is working diligently to address this. As you all know, with the passage of the California state law, SB 1383, we have been mandated to develop and implement this plan for food waste. And so we want to work alongside others to help bolster this work and essentially solve this big problem that we have. And then lastly, increasing access to affordable and healthy foods. It's addressing food insecurity. This is nothing new for our community, and we have many wonderful organizations who are working diligently on this and do a fantastic job. But we all know that this has become a even more challenging problem in our community and across the nation, really. Post-pandemic, rising costs in food and housing and other basic needs has put more of a strain on our families. And it's had that ripple effect and putting more of a strain on our hunger relief systems as well. And so we want to come alongside those organizations and again, help to bolster that work as well. So we've developed these strategic priorities. We have objectives linked to these priorities. I think you all should have the strategic plan now with you, so you can take a look at that at your leisure. But our next step, and we're right in the throes of, is developing action plans. So we're putting together what are the steps forward to address these strategic priorities. We've had our first action planning meeting. We have another one in February. We have identified subcommittees of the council. Each subcommittee has been given a strategic priority. And so we are eager to share more as we grow as a council. I also wanted to show you this slide, and so you can see who our council members are. We have some great representation across our sectors in the community, including nonprofits, health organizations. We have farmers and public health staff as well on our Food Policy Council. And we have a great backbone organization in the Yuba County Health Department's eligibility unit is helping to support the work of the Food Policy Council as well. And I would like to invite any of the board members here today who would like to participate on the council. We would happily offer a seat to you as well. So as I wrap up, I just want to emphasize our vision of our food system in Yuba-Sutter. The Food Policy Council endeavors to build a sustainable food system where our locally grown produce becomes the cornerstone of our schools, institutions like the hospital, grocery stores, and restaurants. We envision a community where more farmers markets are throughout the community. They're more accessible, they're more affordable. We imagine a community where individual members are empowered to eat healthier through healthy food skills knowledge. We imagine a community where the fresh vegetables that are on the trays of the lunches that students are eating in the schools and the fruit that people are purchasing in the cafeteria of the hospitals and the foods that are in your local dishes are all coming from farms just miles away. And it's not just about convenience. It's about creating a stronger, more thriving food system community here. By connecting our local farmers with our schools and our institutions, we're ensuring that our children and adults alike have access to this fresh and healthy produce. But we're also supporting our small local farmers who desperately need that kind of support. Our restaurants can be ambassadors for the local flavor, really celebrating the abundance that we have here in the community. This interconnectedness does more than feed us. It fuels our economy. It fosters these relationships, and it weaves a stronger bond between our producers and our consumers. And it makes our communities more resilient. It's going to ensure that we can really rely on each other in challenging times. And I think a lot of us, during the pandemic experience what happens with these kinds of things. But together as a community, we really can transform the food system into one that nurtures and empowers farmers and our residents and sustains our environment here. This power of a shared vision, I think we really can achieve this vision of, again, delicious food, healthy people, and a vibrant local food economy. And here's the ask. So to support this important vision and amplify its impact, we would like to invite the Board of Supervisors to formally acknowledge the Yuba-Sutter Food Policy Council. This recognition will help to affirm the importance of the work that needs to be done in this community and to help foster a deeper collaboration across the community. And that is all that I have. Thank you so much for giving me some time to share with you about this wonderful new council that we have in the community. And if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
Thank you, Marnie. Any questions or comments from board members?
Yes, through the chair. Are there any school board members on your board?
We do not, but that's a very great question.
The biggest impact you can have is at the schools. And it would be nice if they participated in some of the things in our neighborhood.
I agree 100%. Thank you.
Anything else? Okay, any public comment on this item? Okay. Is there a motion?
Through the chair.
Yeah, go ahead.
So moved. Okay.
I'll second.
There's a first and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Great. Motion passes unanimously. Thanks again, Marnie. It's very exciting to do all we can to connect local farmers with local consumers. So.
Great. Much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Next, we are going to move on to ordinances and public hearings. Natalie.
If you challenge in court the action or decision of the Yuba County Board of Supervisors regarding a zoning, planning, land use, or environmental protection matter made at any hearing described in this notice, you may be limited to raising only those issues you or someone else raised at such hearing, or in written correspondence delivered to the Yuba County Board of Supervisors at or prior to such hearing. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes per individual or group.
Great, thank you. We have one item under ordinances and public hearings today. It's item 5/2025 from Community Development and Services. Public hearing, hold public hearing and adopt resolution approving an extension for Hamilton Road in the Goldfields to remain gated pursuant to California Vehicle Code Section 21101.4.
Deputy Director of Public Works. I'm here this morning to talk about Hamilton Road. In July of 2023, this road was closed at the Goldfields, Yuba Goldfields, due to criminal activity and illegal dumping. This is done in accordance with California Vehicle Code Section, as previously mentioned, 21101.4, which allows for an 18-month closure of that road to curtail that criminal activity. At this point, we're approaching that 18 months, and we're here before you to ask that we extend that for up to another 18 months per that vehicle code section. So on behalf of Public Works, I ask that the attached resolution is adopted or approved by the board today to extend that time period. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there board questions?
Well, I have yeah. Go ahead. Oh, okay. Through the chair. Not a question, but I have a comment. So I just want to let the rest of the board members know that Public Works, we've been working, Mike Lee and Nick, we have had a meeting out there with the BLM. It's not like we've just been sitting idly for 18 months. There's been a lot of discussion, a lot of meetings, a lot of work with the BLM to get this resolved. I think we're well on the way to getting that done. We even had Congressman LaMalfa's representative out there at our last meeting. So we have a lot moving forward to get done, but I know it seems to the public like we're working at a snail's pace, and it even does to me. It's my district, and growing up on the ranch, you know, we want to do something, we just do it. It's just taken forever to go through the wheels of government, so to speak, but we are working very hard in the path to getting this back open and making it a really nice facility for the community.
Great, thank you.
Through the chair, I would like to see us look into an ordinance, a local ordinance, that would increase the fines on all these people who love to take their four-wheeling to the local building sites of many of our developments and have at least $1,000 to a $1,500 fine for destroying commercial property. The reason it was closed was because they kept destroying things, and they want to take it somewhere else, and I've got complaints on this, and I'd like to see us be able to enforce something that would put them on notice that you can't do what you did in the foothills on our sites for apartments, which at Goldfields Parkway and Earl, they did that, and they had 2 trucks stuck. So I'd like to see us look for an ordinance that we could keep them off the building properties. So.
Council, if it's not too far off of this particular agenda item, is it possible that we can ask staff to bring something back in the future related to what Supervisor Vasquez is asking about, if there's consensus among the board that we're interested in exploring that?
They seem to think that they could go through these carefully prepared pads and destroy them. I think, oh, well,
It is related, but it's definitely not something the board could take action on today. Something we can bring back in the future. Also, I wanted to mention that it is a public hearing, so we want to make sure we open the public hearing.
Perfect. Okay.
thank you.
I'll open the public hearing.
Through the chair. I just had some comments. So I spent a lot of time out there as a young adult. My parents were demolition contractors, tore down the old silica plants and some other buildings out there. And it was always under lock and key until a lawsuit was settled that made it public roadway. I think we need to work to ensure that the public has full access to that roadway, even though it's not county maintained. I know what John's talking about with opening an off-road area to be able to use some of the area out there, but there's a lot of BLM land out there, and that's just a sliver of what we have access to. So I think we need to do what we can to police the problems, increase enforcement, like Supervisor Vasquez had recommended. But I ultimately think this a public roadway. It's been established by law, and I'd like to see a plan for how we're going to get the whole road open.
Yeah, can I follow up on that?
Yes, please.
We are working forward with a plan, and I would like to say that, you know, Sean Pirtle's here in the audience from Fish and Game. The year leading up to the closure, he wrote 348 citations out there. Not one of them was a local person. They were all out of area. So it's unfortunate that these people coming in from out of the area have kind of ruined it for our local people, and that's why we are working diligently to try to get it open back up. And Mike Lee had meetings with the BLM, and we originally had a lease going with them, but they wanted to exclude OHV activity out there. And the county, we want to provide an area for OHV. The BLM doesn't allow OHV in the mother lode district, which we're in. So that's been one of the big holdups is we want to provide an area where people can take their side-by-sides and four-wheelers and have a place to ride. If we would just went along with what they wanted, that wouldn't have ever happened out there. So that's one of the reasons it's taken so much longer is so we can provide more access for the public for more activities out there. Hopefully with what we're doing, we can improve the road and the access, because the majority of the people were destroying the road even further, and it's not maintained. My good friend that's a fire captain with CDF, formerly in Smartsville, now in Loma Rica, told me the last time he drove a fire truck down that road, it took him an hour and 10 minutes to go from one end to the other, because it is such a miserable road. So, you know, if somebody gets hurt out there, you know, and I'm sure to get an ambulance, Wendell can maybe speak for how long it takes to even a patrol car to get out there. So we do want to get it open back up. I wish we could have done this within 18 months, but it really has just been going back and forth with the BLM to get something worked with them so we can move forward and make it a really nice community facility.
Great. Thank you, Supervisor Messick, and thanks for your effort on this as well.
Chair, Sean Pirtle's here, and I'd like to recognize him for being out there still writing citations. You know, it's a Lone Ranger out there, and alcohol is usually involved, and it's a pretty dangerous job. So thank you very much for your efforts, Sean.
Okay. Any additional board comment at this time? Okay. Seeing none, I anticipate we might have some public comment on this issue. So just a reminder that public comment will be limited to 3 minutes, and we're not really able to go back and forth with the board. So it's your opportunity to let the board know to comment on this item for up to 3 minutes. So, Natalie?
I have no request to speak. There's no hands raised on Zoom.
Okay. So, it looks like there is one public comment. So.
Hi, my name is Mark Henwood, and my family owns a ranching property immediately south of the BLM property. And we have been have received no benefit from a public road because it's unpassable, and yet we've received a high degree of cost due to the OHV activity on the BLM property. So we're very strongly supportive of the board's effort to close the road, keep it closed until you figure out how to manage that property. And if you don't maintain that road, you're not going to be able to manage the properties out there properly because it's so remote. And that was, frankly, a big part of the problem for the years when the ATV people were just going crazy all over the place. So we're strongly supportive of the activities that you guys are doing. It would not break my heart in any way if there were no OHV use there. We view that as something that adversely impacts the value of our property and makes it harder to rent the property. It would eliminate our ability to do any development activity there. And so in any event, you're making progress. It's good. And I assume that you're going to continue with the road closure while you're working on the problem. Okay, thanks.
Great. Thank you. So seeing no additional public comment at this time, I will close the public hearing and entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, I have a first and a second. Council, do we need a, since it's an ordinance, do we need a roll call vote on this? Okay, so we'll do roll call vote. Okay.
Supervisor Vasquez.
Yes.
Supervisor House.
Yes.
Supervisor Fuhrer.
No.
Supervisor Bradford.
Yes.
Supervisor Messick.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Brian. Okay, next is correspondence, and there are several items as listed on the agenda, and then we will be moving to board and staff member reports. Supervisor Vasquez.
Okay, we have a ordinance that Assemblyman Gallagher is putting up about renaming the 10th Street Bridge, and I'd like to propose that we write a letter of support for that. They're going to label it the POWMIA bridge, which would be nice. And getting off into other areas, we have an Assemblyman Mercado in Tulare put forth a bill shifting $1 billion from the high-speed rail for water infrastructure and wildfire protection. The cost of the Merced to Bakersfield portion of the scam, and I noticed the high-speed rail, and I don't know anybody who wants to go to Merced, from Merced to Bakersfield, will be approximately $130 billion. And it's obvious that the next 4 years, the feds will not give it another dime, leaving it about $120 billion. So I'd suggest we support him in his bills 267 that redirects $1 billion in annual state funding for the California High-Speed Rail Authority that comes from the Greenhouse Reduction Fund. That would go toward water and fire prevention. And a nice little note on a new president, orders the U.S. attorneys to investigate any city and state officials who don't assist ICE. Planned Parenthood opens its largest health center, and Planned Parenthood is an oxymoron, in downtown Oakland. So Oakland's a city of deficit, failed schools, businesses, and families moving out. Now they declare themselves the modern killing fields of California. And that will do it for me.
Thank you. Supervisor House?
Yeah, so that last vote was a little tough on me. I just want you guys to know that I fully expect our board to have action and have that road open in the 18 months that we have left. So I'm willing to volunteer to help. I know it's an ad hoc committee and you can't have a majority, but I'd love to do what we can to maintain public access. And then foregoing all the other reports on that, today I'd like to request that we adjourn in memory of Andrew and Wesley Cornett, the boys that lost their lives on December 14th, and in honor of them and Juan Heredia, who spent 21 days out there bringing closure to their family.
Thank you. Supervisor Fuhrer?
No report.
Okay. Supervisor Messick?
So just some upcoming community events. March 29th is the Search and Rescue, Yuba County Search and Rescue fundraising dinner right over here at the 530 building. I already bought a table. I'm hoping you guys will go and support Search and Rescue. Really, you know, if you don't know what they do and the training they go through, they're training on a monthly basis. They go and do search and rescue, not just in Yuba County, but other places when they're asked to, but really in in Yuba County. If you're going to get lost in Yuba County, because we have the best search and rescue around, and we really need to support them. And
What's the date?
And it's March 29th. They have a social media page, Yuba County Search and Rescue. They've got it advertised there. The dinner, fundraising dinner that I kind of head up for the Yuba-Sutter Sheriff's Aero Squadron will be coming up on May 17th. Outdoors at the Yuba County Airport, provided we don't get rained and hailed out again and have to move it indoors. So what are the odds of that happening twice, 2 years in a row? So I'll have more information coming out on that one.
Great. Thank you, Supervisor Messick. Council?
I just wanted to let the board know and everybody that we have a new attorney in our office, Daniel Luberk, and he will be handling animal control services, treasurer, tax collector, probate, mental health conservatorships. So I just wanted to say we're very excited to have Daniel.
Thank you. Kevin?
Staff will follow up with preparing a letter of support for Gallagher's Assembly concurrent resolution, which is a little bit different than a bill, but it has the same intent to move the ball forward as far as changing the name on 10th Street Bridge. So anyways, besides that, looking forward to our discussion at 1:30 this afternoon with the board's workshop, where we talk about what priorities the board would like to set in this coming fiscal year for us to, again, move the ball forward on our own strategic plan and goals and objectives that are in the plan. So that's it.
Thank you. Natalie?
Nothing for us, thank you.
Okay. The only item I have, I was able to announce it yesterday on social media, but for anyone who hasn't heard, I'm very excited to announce that Plumas Lake will be getting a holiday market. They should break ground hopefully late this spring or summer and be completed by fall of 2026 and open. So, and then there'll be some other businesses in the shopping center that'll be anchored by the holiday that hopefully will be announced in the coming months. So it's very exciting. I know my constituents have wanted a grocery store for decades, actually. So anyway, that's super exciting. So next we will have closed session as listed on the agenda. Are there any public comments on any closed session items? Okay, so seeing none, we will recess for 15 minutes until 10:05 on the dot, and then we'll go into closed session. And then a reminder that we have a 1:30 p.m. board workshop as listed on the agenda and as mentioned by Kevin. So thanks.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com. You've seen signs marking some of the gems in Marysville. They're produced by Sapphire Sign Company, providing something small, large, and mobile. With decades of experience, Sapphire Signs has pioneered local production of a variety of signs, like temporary campaign-style signs, welcomes for unique events, building signage, event promotion, and vehicle customization. Need a sign? Make it a gem from Sapphire Sign Company. On the web at sapphiremarketinggroup.net. Sapphire.
Hi, I'm Neil Goforth of Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties. Caring for elders or even yourself has challenges. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties can help you address today's issues and plan for tomorrow with in-home and specialized care for you or your family members. Call us at 530-749-8800. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties.
In Yuba County, there's a legendary diner
Delicious. Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
where the parking lot tells a story. A story as simple as biscuits and gravy.
The food is good. The prices are wonderful. My dad has so many friends here that come here, and it's my dad and mom have known Mary Jane and her dad before Duke.
Duke's Diner on 7th Avenue, home of legendary chili, holiday pies, and generations of local residents preparing tasty, hearty food for generations of local people. Join Mary Jane and her genial associates as they serve meals you'll come back for. Duke's Diner on 7th Avenue, Olivehurst.
In Marysville, where roots run deep, McNally Appliances promises to keep the best brands with a smile on its face. We service what we sell, it's a warm embrace. Competitive pricing you can't ignore. With every purchase you'll love it more. From fridges to washers, all in a line. We install with care to make it shine. Major brands, trusted and true. McNally Appliances is here for you. Oh, Nally McNally, we're your first choice. In Marysville, we help you rejoice. We service what we sell, no need to stress. At McNally Appliances, we're simply the best. Our promise stands, we'll always be here. McNally Appliances, bringing your cheer.
McNally Appliances, 119 D Street, Marysville. McNallyAppliances.com.
In the heart of the valley, we rise so bright, where the news flows freely in the morning light. Yuba-Sutter done live, where truth comes alive. Every Tuesday's a journey, it's where we thrive. Watch it unfold. Yuba-Sutter done live, in the heart of our home. Be informed, be wise. Yuba-Sutter done live. We capture it all. Policy debates, hear the people's call. With Yuba-Sutter done live, you'll never miss a beat. Special reports hit hard, shining a spotlight. Yuba-Sutter done live. Yuba-Sutter done live. Yuba-Sutter done live. It's the truth that comes through.